And a very pleasant good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Henley Baseball, live today on MyBasin.com. The final full series of the regular season takes the Henley Hornets to Mazama High School to take on their cross-county rival, the Mazama Vikings. Glad to be with you today from the baseball complex on the campus of Mazama High School. My name is Josh Eldridge. Thank you so much for joining us today for another edition of Skyline Conference Baseball. The Hornets unbeaten in the Skyline Conference this year with a 12-0 league record. They are 17-3 overall this season. Mazama enters with a 2-11 league mark. They are 6-15 on the season. But for the Vikings, they grabbed their first two wins of league play last time out. Back on Saturday, a couple of wins over Klamath Union, where they defeated the Pelicans 8-6 and 9-1. Meantime, for Henley, they are on a three-game winning streak after a sweep of Hidden Valley, where they beat them 7-2 a week ago, 4-0 and 5-1 back on Saturday. Hornets looking to stay undefeated. The Vikings looking to collect an upset on their field. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the Kyle's Lawn Care starting lineups. That's coming up in just a minute on MyBasin.com.
Parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account to retirement planning and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
At MyBasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Josh Eldridge back with you from Mazama High School. The side of today's Henley baseball action as the Hornets get ready to take on the Mazama Vikings. As we'll introduce you to the Kyle's Lawn Care starting nine for the Henley Hornets, who are led off by the third baseman Mark Carpenter. Connor Shively bats second at shortstop. The catcher Jacoby Tacchini hits third. Max Price bats fourth. Bo Pyle hitting fifth for Henley, followed by Derek Cox, the designated hitter. Corbin Hamilton is at first base hitting seventh. Carson Sims bats eighth in right. And Ryan Douglas rounds out the Henley order in center field. As the first pitch is across, 7 minutes ahead of schedule today. It is 56 degrees here in Klamath Falls with the wind blowing out to the southeast, which would be over the right field fence. Our vantage point from Mazama High School facing the northeast. Count, I believe, is a ball and a strike to the leadoff hitter, Carpenter. Here's the delivery, this time from Ladner. Plugs Carpenter, and a free pass delivered to lead off the ball game. Runner aboard at first, and nobody out. In for Connor Shively. I want to give you a statistical outlook on Jonathan Ladner this season, making his 8th start of the year. Carries an overall record of 1-5. He's got 16 and a third innings pitched and an ERA of 10.29. Left-handed bat of Connor Shively steps in with a runner on, and a pop out behind third is foul. The count 0-1 to Shively. Around the diamond for Mazama, Deshaun Carter is catching with Kellen Lee at third. Silas Capitan at short with Max Rogers at second and William Hamilton at first. We'll get you the outfield for the Vikings after the 0-1 pitch to Shively. Misses outside. Carpenter on the move. The throw down is high, and Carpenter slides in safely. He's now in scoring position, and the count even to Shively at 1. In the outfield from left to right for Mazama, it's Mason Spivey, Devin Lobdell, and Nickerson is in right. That would be, I believe, Jacoby Nickerson in right field. 1-1 count to Shively. The right-hander Ladner delivers the pitch. That one misses wide, hits the brick backstop, and will allow Shively to advance to third, or pardon me, Carpenter to advance to third with Shively at the plate. So nobody out and a runner 90 feet away for the Hornets in the top of the first inning. Shively this season for the Hornets, fourth on the team in hitting, batting .403 this year. And 23 runs batted in is tied for second most on the team. Here he'll take ball 3, and the count is now 3-1 to Shively. On deck, again, reminding you for Henley, is Jacoby Tacchini. The 3-1, that one will sail on Ladner a bit, and a walk will put Shively at first. Runners at the corners and nobody out for Jacoby Tacchini, the freshman second on the team in hitting. He bats .458 for Henley, leads not only the Hornets, but the entire conference in runs batted in with 31 this season. Right-hander steps in for Henley. Again, Carpenter at third, Shively at first. See if the Hornets have something working on the base paths here. Yes, first pitch going for Connor Shively. It won't matter as he hits Tacchini, and so that will load the bases for Max Price. Max Price ready to step in now for the Hornets this season for Price, batting .306. He gets his first look in this ball game with the bases loaded and nobody out. First pitch winds up behind him. The count is 1-0. Flash you back to the first time these teams played this season. It was back on April 8th. A 17-2 win for Henley in that game. They scored 10 of those 17 runs in the first inning. Here in the first inning, already with the bases loaded, and another pitch winding up behind Max Price, the count 2-0. After Price in the Henley lineup, it's Bo Pyle. Ladner now opting to work from the windup. With the runner on third, the 2-0 popped up, high fly ball to left field. Spivey moving underneath it. He will not be able to make the catch, the wind giving him some trouble in left, and that will be an error in left field, allowing a run to score. And Henley with an early 1-0 advantage over the Vikings. Recall that in that 10-run first inning for Henley last time these two teams played, they actually didn't record a hit until the 10th batter of the inning. Henley was able to do it all with walks, errors, and hit batsmen. And so far, they've already scored a run without recording a hit as Carpenter, who is hit by a pitch, came in to score from third. Shively advancing to third. Tacchini, actually, I believe that's Porter Frost out there. Frost at second, and Price aboard at first. The count is 2-0 to Bo Pyle. Typically the designated hitter for Henley, but today finds himself starting defensively at second base. Here he takes a breaking ball, hits it deep to center field. That is carrying. That is going to roll up against the fence. Just shy of a home run. Shively scores. They're waving Frost in to score, and he will score from second. A 2 RBI double for Bo Pyle puts Henley up 3-0. Max Price pulls into third. And again, 2 RBIs for Bo Pyle. And he just hit double number 8 on the season for him. Interesting thing about Bo, he actually has more extra base hits than singles this year. He now has 9 doubles or triples and only 8 singles this season. It looks like Mazama may be making a change early on the hill. We'll see. This first inning has not gone to plan, down 3-0 to the Hornets. And it looks like a new pitcher for Mazama, I believe, and that's the case. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll get you all the changes in just a moment as Mason Snell comes in to pitch for Mazama. Back after this on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Top of the first inning, Henley leads Mazama 3-0. 2 runners will be in scoring position as we get you back ready for this one. New pitcher on the mound for Mazama is number 5. That is the freshman Mason Snell. Taking a look at the statistical output for Snell so far this season. This is his 7th appearance of the year. Has worked 8 innings previous, a win-loss record of 0-1, and an ERA of 11.38. And his first task is the Henley designated hitter, Derek Cox. Again, Bo Pyle stands at second after a 2 RBI double, knocked in a couple of runs. Max Price is at third after reaching on an error. First pitch to Derek Cox, hit high in the air, left field. Spivey is going to make the catch. Both runners tagging, but Pyle will have to head on back to second as Max Price scores on the sacrifice fly and the RBI. 1 away in the inning. Henley leads 4-0. In steps Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton, last time these two teams played back in April, was 1 for 3 with 2 RBI in that game. A single in the 4th inning drove in 2 runs. Now just 1 runner on second to count a 1 ball and no strikes as Hamilton settles back into the right-handed batter's box. And the pitch, a curveball. Hamilton pops it up, out of play, foul. Now the count even to Hamilton, the 1-1. And the pitcher, Mason Snell, will step off as we await the 1-1 pitch to Corbin Hamilton with Carson Sims waiting on deck. Snell agrees with the sign from Deshaun Carter. And the 1-1. A curveball. Hamilton hammers it foul. And the count now a ball and 2 strikes. Game 1 of 3 this week between the Hornets and the Vikings. Here we'll play 1 7-inning game on Friday, a doubleheader at Rosser Field beginning at 3 and scheduled for a 5 o'clock start, although that nearly never happens. Probably about 3 and 5:30 would be our game times over at Rosser Field. 1-2 pitch to Hamilton is a breaking pitch in the dirt. A huge secondary lead from Pyle. Thought maybe he had a good read on the pitch in the dirt, but a good block by Deshaun Carter to keep the pitch in front of him. Count is now even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch to Hamilton, an inside breaking ball that he rips foul down the third base side, so we'll do it again, 2-2. Again, big lead off of second for Bo out there. Secondary lead gets him about 3/4 of the way to third, and this time Deshaun Carter, unable to keep it in front of him, tried to pick it out of the dirt, but it skips just over his glove and behind him, this time allowing Pyle to reach third. And so the count is now full to Corbin Hamilton with a runner at third and 1 out. Score 4-0 Henley, top of the first inning. The 3-2. Breaking pitch, ground ball towards third. Lee is up with it, sets his feet for the throw to first in time. And the out is made at first, but in the meantime, Bo Pyle comes in to score. Now 5-0 Hornets. And in steps Carson Sims. Sims was 2 for 3 the last time these two teams played, had 2 doubles in the win, and scored a run. Sims takes a pitch upstairs here. The count is 1-0. Pitch misses outside, now 2-0. Breaking ball, that one found the outer third. A nice curveball there from Mason Snell. Started over the middle part of the plate, but just graced the outer third. That's where you want to place that curveball, is to the outside of these right-handed hitters. The 2-1. Another curveball. This one dips below the zone, but trying to find the same location. Not a bad idea for Mason Snell. The 3-1. Another curveball outside. This time Sims caught a piece of it and fouled it off. The count's now full to the Henley sophomore. Ryan Douglas waits on deck. Three-two, line drive, left center field. That's going to get down, and it's going to be extra bases. It rolls to the wall. Sims digging for 2. He is going to hold up there, and a 2-out double for Carson Sims. And that will bring up Ryan Douglas. Second double this inning for Henley. Second hit as well. And like I said, Sims against the Vikings, that's now 3 doubles in only 4 at-bats. That's impressive. He's seeing the Vikings well as in steps Ryan Douglas. Chance to drive in another run here in the first inning. Big breaking pitch misses high and tight. The count 1-0 to the Henley center fielder. Douglas was a good game last time these teams met as well. He finished 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. That pitch misses low. The count now 2-0. Snell steps off for a moment. Now back on the rubber. Douglas readies his hands for the 2-0. Rolled that one foul. The count 2-1. Pitch to Douglas, another curveball. Snell leaning heavily on that breaking pitch here in the first inning. But if you can place it outside, he's had some success with that. It's when he leaves it over the middle that he gives up the extra base hits like he has to Pyle and Sims. The 2-2, that's a curveball that misses in the dirt, kicks off the knee guard of Deshaun Carter and down the first base line. That's going to allow Sims to advance to third. Now 90 feet away from scoring, 2 outs and a 3-1 count at the plate to Douglas. 3-2 count at the plate to Douglas. Lineup turns over next for Henley with Mark Carpenter waiting on deck. Pitch home. Ground ball to short. Playable for Capitan. Up with it. It's going to have to make a quick throw. Douglas beats out the infield single. And a run scores in the process. Henley up 6-0 on the RBI infield single for Ryan Douglas. And again, back to the top of the Henley order for Mark Carpenter. Carpenter was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat and would come around to score, although this is the first time he's seeing Mason Snell today. Big bender to Carpenter, misses wide. The count 1-0. Deshaun Carter thought about trying to backdoor Douglas at first, but Douglas gets back safely without a throw from Carter. Still top of the first inning. And Henley up 6. Pitch on the way from Snell. A curveball. Carpenter pops this one up in the infield out towards second base. That ball is caught by Rogers, and that will end the inning. But the Hornets score 6 runs on 3 hits. They leave 1 stranded, and they lead 6-0 going to the bottom of the first. Back after this on MyBasin.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Getting set for the bottom of the first inning between the Hornets and the Vikings. Take a look now at the Henley starting pitcher. That's Max Price, making only his 2nd start of the season, but his 8th overall appearance in 9 1/3 innings pitched, an ERA of 3.75 for Max Price. He'll go up against a Vikings lineup that goes like this. Max Rogers leads off for Mazama. He is at second base. Devin Lobdell, the center fielder, bats second. Deshaun Carter, the catcher, hits third. Jaden Justice, the designated hitter, batting fourth, followed by Kellen Lee, the third baseman, hitting fifth. Mason Spivey bats sixth in left field. Jacoby Nickerson in right field, batting seventh. William Hamilton at first base, hitting eighth. And I believe it'll be Mason Snell batting ninth, as he would come in and hit for Jonathan Ladner. And going to make that change on my lineup card. I believe that'll be the case moving forward as long as Snell is in the game. Max Rogers getting ready to step in now for the Vikings. Again, they've got a hole to climb out of even here early. First pitch swinging for Max Rogers. Fly ball right field. Sims moving towards the line. He will make the catch for the first out. Introduce you to the defense for the Henley Hornets. Of course, we said Max Price on the hill. Jacoby Tacchini, the other half of the Hornets battery behind the dish. Mark Carpenter at third. Connor Shively at short. Bo Pyle plays second with Corbin Hamilton at first. Chase Barrett in left. Ryan Douglas in center. And Carson Sims in right. One away, bottom of the first inning, 6-0 Henley leads. And a pitch called a strike in it, Devin Lobdell. Lobdell this season for Mazama, the team leader in batting average, .349 this season, as he takes another pitch on the inner third. The count now 0-2 to Lobdell. Lobdell was 1 for 3 when these teams met back in April. He had a triple in the first inning that scored a run and struck out and flew out in his next 2 at-bats in that contest. He takes a pitch in the dirt here, the count 1-2. That one from Rogers from Price looked at for strike 3. And that will be the second out in the bottom of the first inning. Deshaun Carter batting now for Mazama, the team's second best hitter according to batting average, hitting .333 this season, but leads the team in on-base percentage at 52%. He works walks as good as anybody on this team. He's got 13 free passes, but he leads the team in being hit by the pitch. He's been hit 8 times this year. The 1-0 to Carter, ground ball towards third and through into left field, and a 2-out base hit for Deshaun Carter. We're going to have a courtesy runner come in for the catcher, Deshaun Carter. It's going to be Ethan Frost, the freshman for the Vikings, aboard at first. So 2 outs and a runner on. And here's Jaden Justice. Justice batting .204 this season for the Vikings. Getting his first look at Max Price here. The pitch is taken for a ball. Must have missed outside, about belt high. Count 1-0. It's been a busy day for myself. Here calling some of these games. Just had to book it over here from Oregon Tech. Has been calling the games up at the NAIA National Tournament this week. Tech had a fantastic game earlier today, a walk-off win against Southeastern University to extend their season. They beat them 2-1. Take a look in at the score right now. The top of the 5th inning, still an elimination game for Tech. Fly ball, right field, making the catch on the run is Carson Sims to end the inning. Hold that thought about Oregon Tech as we go to the second. Henley up 6 on mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Glad to be back with you from Mazama High School, getting ready for the top of the second inning between the Vikings and the Henley Hornets. Our score is 6-0 so far. My name's Josh Eldridge. Thank you for joining us today. Talking a little bit about Oregon Tech and the Lady Owls. They are in the NAIA National Tournament up at Stillwell Stadium on the campus of OIT. Right now they're taking on Midland in an elimination game for Tech. Right now they are up 1-0 over Midland from Nebraska. So Tech, with a win today, would advance one more game against Midland in a winner-take-all championship game in the opening round tomorrow. Should they lose this game, then they would be eliminated from national championship contention, and the University of Midland would advance to the NAIA World Series in Columbus, Georgia. Back here in this one, Connor Shively leads things off with a base hit into left field. Shively on with a leadoff single. Spivey was coming in to try to make the catch and maybe hit the brakes a little bit soon as that ball dropped right in front of him. But now with a runner on, it's Jacoby Tacchini. Tacchini was hit by a pitch, and courtesy ran for Porter Frost would come in to score in the first inning. Takes a strike, 0-1. Move over to first. Diving back safely is Connor Shively. And that pitch comes in and hits Tacchini. Second time he's been plunked today, and that advances Shively to second. And Max Price bats now with 2 on and nobody out. Porter Frost out of the Henley dugout, aboard at first, running in for Tacchini. So Max Price batting now. He reached on an error in his last at-bat, drove in a run in that at-bat as well, and would come around to score. Strike in there, the count 0-1 to Price. After Price in the Henley lineup, it's Bo Pyle. Snell into his second inning of relief. You can close the book on Jonathan Ladner. We'll give you his final line score in just a moment as Price swings through the breaking pitch down in the count 0-2. On the way to Price. Curveball checks his swing. It missed inside. Close pitch, but Price doing a good job of laying off that one. And the count now 1-2 strikes. Like we said, closing the book on Jonathan Ladner, was unable to record an out in the first inning when he gave up 1 hit, 5 runs, 3 of them earned. That's how we get to Mason Snell now on the bump for Mazama as he fires in a pitch low. The count even now 2-2 to Max Price. Pretty good crowd here at Mazama, filing in around the one set of bleachers here, and a lot of people in their camping chairs. We've actually got 2 rows of camping chairs on both sides of the field today as Max Price swings and misses at strike 3. 1 out in the top of the second inning for Mazama. Still 2 runners on. Shively at second, Frost at first, and here's Bo Pyle. Can feel something of a resurgence coming for the Mazama baseball program that was so dominant through much of the 90s and mid-2010s, late 2010s as well, competing for league championships really up until the COVID season, as a strike is taken by Bo Pyle there, the count 0-1. Coach Mike Edwards has infused some hope into this team. He has returned them to be able to play games on campus, which you may not think matters all that much, but for the morale of the players and getting to practice on time, XYZ, it's a big thing to have baseball back on campus for Mazama as the 0-1 gets by Deshaun Carter, and both runners will advance in scoring position. Shively to third and Frost now to second. I don't recall the exact dollar amount for Mazama raising money to upkeep the baseball field, but I'll tell you this much. It looks as in good as condition as I've ever seen it. I mean, completely unrecognizable from what it was even 2 years ago, even last season. I mean, when the football team used to practice out in the outfield, this place was tore up. It looked like there was no dirt in the infield because it was all overgrown. The 1-1. Pyle, line drive out to short, trying to play it on a hop was Capitan, but it lines up in left center field for a base hit. Big turnaround first, Pyle making it to second on the throwing error into the infield, and a run scored on the play as Connor Shively scored from third. Henley leads 7-0. RBI single there for Pyle. Reaches second on the error. Second error for Mazama this game. But as I was saying, I mean, the infield was overgrown. It looked like there was almost no mound at all. But, I mean, raised so much money and support from the community that this field looks in great shape. First pitch to Derek Cox. High fly ball, left center field. Over is the left fielder, Spivey. He makes the catch. Tagging and scoring from third is Porter Frost. Pyle advances to third on the play, and a sacrifice fly and an RBI again for Derek Cox. It might not be the most flashy play in baseball, but it will score you a run. 8-0 now Henley after the sacrifice fly for Derek Cox. Now in his Corbin Hamilton. You might notice the numbers painted on the field as well for Mazama around the big M behind home plate as Corbin Hamilton checks his swing, the count 0-1. That is representative of Mazama's 4 seniors, including Mason Spivey, along with Devin Lobdell and Deshaun Carter and Logan Blakely. Not only are their numbers painted on the field, but they've also got posters down the left side here by the dugout. Count 1-1 to Corbin Hamilton with Carson Sims on deck. Henley has added 2 runs in this inning. Swings through the 1-1, the count 1-2. Runner on third is Bo Pyle. He reached after a single earlier this inning, an RBI single. Pyle, by the way, 2 for 2, now 3 runs batted in for that young man. Derek Cox with a sacrifice fly as well. Mason Snell with the 1-2 pitch. A curveball popped up, playable for the infield. The shortstop Capitan ranging back, called off by the center fielder, and nobody makes the play. Capitan held up like he was called off by Lobdell. Spivey from left field was the one who wound up diving for it, but it falls harmlessly to the grass, and a 2-out hit is going to put Henley up 9-0, and aboard at first after the RBI is Corbin Hamilton. Carson Sims stepping in for his second look at Mason Snell today. He had a double in the first inning and would eventually come around and score. That pitch misses high and tight to Carson Sims, 1-0. To Sims, a breaking pitch, well placed on the outside, finds the zone. The count is 1-1 to Sims. Move over to first, back safely is Corbin Hamilton. Pitch to Sims, he'll foul it back, and the count is 1-2. Henley, with their last win against Hidden Valley, clinched at least a share of the Skyline Conference title, and with a win today would clinch it outright for the 3rd straight season. 1-2 misses in the turf, gets by Carter. Advancing to second is Corbin Hamilton. Take you back to 2022, the last time Henley did not win the Skyline Conference. It's actually the Mazama Vikings, who were co-league champions that year with Hidden Valley, both teams finishing 13-2. Henley wrapped up that year 10-5. Hard ground ball down the third base side is foul. Since that season, Henley has been unbeaten in league play. 16-0 last year, and then in 2023, we're 12-0. And this season, of course, like I said, Henley still unbeaten in conference play. They are 12-0 thus far. Again, a win here clinches them the Skyline Conference. The count 2-2 to Carson Sims. Snell is set. The delivery is going to miss below his knees. Count 3-2. After Sims in the Henley order, it's Ryan Douglas. (3-2) is going to wind up in the dirt. Sims aboard with a walk. Hamilton will stay put at second. And again, Sims aboard. And in steps Ryan Douglas. Douglas singled home a run in his first at-bat, an RBI for him today. Another RBI opportunity with 2 outs. Takes a look at a breaking ball that finds the zone, the count 0-1. And after Douglas, back to the top of the order for Henley with Mark Carpenter on deck. Snell is set. Curveball swung on and missed. Down in the count 0-2 is Douglas. They tried to throw down to second to get Hamilton, and they're going to say the batter is out on interference. Don't often see that one. I thought he was in the box, but instead called interference against Ryan Douglas, and that'll end the inning. Henley leads the Vikings 9-0 as we go to the bottom of the second next on MyBasin.com.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Getting ready for the bottom of the second inning. Henley in front of Mazama 9-0. Due up this half for the Vikings is Kellen Lee, Mason Spivey, and Jacoby Nickerson. Taking a look at Kellen Lee this season, the leadoff batter this half inning for the Vikings. Lee batting .220 this season for Mazama as he swings and misses at strike one. Spivey had a good series against Klamath Union back on Saturday. The count to him now is 0-2. Spivey was 3 for 8 in that series with an RBI and a couple of runs scored. Boosted the batting average back up over 200. Here he takes the 0-2 in the dirt, the count 1-2. Wind continues to blow behind us here at Mazama, one of the windiest places in the basin out here at Mazama High School. Again, blowing out just over the right field fence. Catch a jet stream going the opposite way for some of these right-handed hitters as the 1-2 is in the dirt, 2-2. Another 2-2 sails high on Max Price. The count is full. Price from the windup. Full count pitch. Grounded foul. We'll do it again in a full count. (3-2) misses below the knees over the plate, but again low to Kellen Lee. So he is aboard with a leadoff walk. Want a way back to the game for the Vikings. It's going to take base runners like that. In steps Mason Spivey for the Mazama Vikings. He said Spivey, one of 4 seniors on this Mazama team, a very young squad. Count is 1-0 after that pitch misses wide. Looking at Spivey this season, batting .208 for the Vikings. Heading the count here, 1-0. Pitch offered up at and missed. The count is even now at 1. Going to continue to check you in on what's happening up at Oregon Tech as the Lady Owls lead the University of Midland 2-0. And again, if they win, those two teams will play tomorrow for a chance to advance to the NAIA World Series in Columbus, Georgia. The 1-1 misses. The count now 2-1. If you've missed our coverage this week, we've been covering every single game of the national tournament on 104.3 and 960 Sports. That's why today our broadcast is only on mybasin.com. You only get the live video feed today because right now the voice of the Owls, Mike Safford, is on our airwaves on the FM and AM stations, filling in for me as I've been up there calling the games all week long. And of course, the high school, the priority here for myself. That's why we find ourselves here at Mazama. Ground ball to third. Carpenter up with it. Throw on to first will be in time, and that's the first out in the second inning. In the meantime, Lee advances to second. RBI opportunity for the Mazama right fielder, Jacoby Nickerson, the sophomore batting from the left side. Will have a chance to drive in Lee, who's been out there since he got on with a leadoff walk. Fly ball foul behind us into the field of flowers here at Mazama. Count 0-1. After Nickerson in the order, it's William Hamilton. Here's a pitch that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-1. Our score of 9-0 built over the course of 2 innings. Henley scored 6 in the first and added 3 more in the second, but the Vikings knocking on the door of their first run of the ball game. 1-1, a check swing, misses high and away. The count now 2-1. Two-one from Price, fouled back, and the count 2-2. That one hit off the top of the helmet of Jacoby Nickerson. Hope he's okay. He looks to be fine. It was a curveball just hit right off the top of his helmet. And so thankfully, that was not a fastball in the air, but hit the most protected part of the helmet for Nickerson. Now aboard at first. 2 on and 1 out for William Hamilton. Taking a look at Hamilton this season for Mazama, batting right at 200. This is his 16th game played. He missed, I believe he did not participate in the last time these two teams met. I have to double check that. No, pardon me. He did reach base. He was 0 for 1 in that game, but walked. A tall batting stance for Hamilton. He'll take a pitch high. It's 1-0. Hamilton starting at first base today. The number 8 hitter in the Vikings lineup, Mason Snell, is on deck. 1-0 on the way from Max Price. Ground ball up the middle, Shively up with it onto Bo Pyle at second for 1, trying to get the back end. It winds up past Corbin Hamilton. And a run will score all the way from second. In is Kellen Lee on the fielder's choice, and the Vikings are on the board, trailing Henley 9-1. So Nickerson out on the base paths for the second out. Hamilton reaching on the fielder's choice, and in steps Mason Snell. Taking a look at the season for Snell, the team's 4th best hitter, batting .229 this season. Count 0-1. Top of the Vikings order due up next with Max Rogers on deck. The 0-1 is looked at for a ball, missed low. The count is, I believe, 1-1 to Snell. That one in the dirt. Takini doing a good job of keeping that in front of him. The freshman catcher has earned consideration, in my opinion, not only for all conference, but for all state, even as a catcher, not only because of what he's able to do with his bat either, but because of defensive effort like that. The 2-1. Breaking pitch will miss upstairs, and the count is 3-1. Henley unsatisfied with that call, but that one was right around the letters. 50-50 goes against the Hornets on this particular moment, and now the count is 3-1 to Snell. That one, similar location, but called a strike. And so now you get the other half of the crowd unhappy, and the count is full. Runner at first is Hamilton. Count is full to Mason Snell with 2 outs in the second inning. Pitch is hit hard to second base. Pile up with it in the gap. He'll make the throw on to first in time. That will end the inning. But the Vikings score 1. No base hits required either, and they leave a runner stranded. They trail 9-1 as we go to the third inning next on mybasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Getting ready for the top of the third inning here from Mazama High School. The Henley Hornets lead the Vikings 9-1. In the top of the third for Henley, it'll be Mark Carpenter, Connor Shively, and Jacoby Takini. And I see a couple of Henley coaches, Sean Teeters and Joe Takini, having a conversation with our home plate umpire. I'm unable to see who our home plate umpire is, but I think they're having a discussion still about the call that was made against Ryan Douglas to end the previous inning. He swung and missed at a pitch that triggered Carter to try and throw down. And in turn, it got Douglas called for interference. Now, as far as I understand, the batter has the right to the box, and that's where he was standing. And so I think that's why Coach Teeters and Coach Takini are having this conversation still. The batter has the right to the box, but was called out in the previous go at things. And Coach Teeters still having a conversation. It's Darren Rutledge is our home plate umpire today. And we look about ready to go. The first base coach, Joe Takini, did he get tossed? He's walking out of the field like he's not going back to the dugout. Now he's going back to the dugout. See if he sticks around. I didn't quite catch that, but we look about ready to go in the third inning after all the confusion. Mark Carpenter will lead things off. What exactly are we waiting for, you guys? Oh, Takini did get tossed. Okay, so he is done for the day. Well, I mean, you're not the head coach. You're not the first base coach. You're a bench coach. You're important, but say your 2 cents. I I don't know if this was worth getting ejected over, but worth arguing about for sure. It's just, frankly, a missed call behind the plate. But Takini is done for the day. It didn't look like anyone was particularly heated up over this, too. He just must have said the wrong thing in the wrong order. And in doing so, he is done. I suppose you can watch the rest of the game from the parking lot on mybasin.com. We're ready to go. In the top of the third inning, Mark Carpenter, first pitch swinging through into left field. And a single for Carpenter. Big turnaround first, but he'll stay put. That's how we get things started in the top of the third. Connor Shively, the left-handed bat for the Hornets, hitting now after a leadoff single from Carpenter. Shively 1 for 1 today with 2 runs scored. He also walked, and as I said, came around to score both times. Carter sets up outside for the pitch, and Shively fists one in the air foul behind third, the count 0-1. After Shively in the order, it's Jacoby Takini. The 0-1, a curveball misses wide, and now the count is even at 1. Checking on the score up at Stillwell Stadium. It looks like Oregon Tech still in front 2-0, bottom of the 6th, but Midland flirting with a runner here in scoring position. We'll keep you updated on that score. It's a pitch in the dirt. Carter keeps it in front of him, but the count moves now to 2-1. Shively rips one to left field, going the opposite way. Back-to-back singles for the Hornets. Get him in business. 2 runners on and nobody out in the third. And did they have to have a player come out of the game here for Mazama? Not quite sure what's going on here. Oh, got to dig up second base. Shively slid so hard at the second base, popped it out of its slot out there. They got to now dig it out to replace it out there. Well, we got a break in the action. I want to remind you that today's broadcast on mybasin.com brought to you in part by the Pacific Power Foundation, who donated nearly $70,000 in 2024 to organizations like the Oregon Tech Foundation, to Klamath County School District, and the Bonanza Big Springs Park District. Big shout out to Pacific Power for joining us for this season of Henley Baseball. Still digging out second base. Again, this is the first of 3 games this week between the Vikings and the Hornets. They'll meet again in a doubleheader set for Friday afternoon. Originally scheduled for Saturday, by the way. So if you know some folks who might not have heard the news, be sure to let them know. The doubleheader that was scheduled for Saturday has been moved to Friday at 3 o'clock. Still taking place at Henley, at Rosser Field. But, yeah, just moved up to Friday with the forecast as it is for Saturday. Wanted to make sure we get these games in. You can't postpone it to Monday because Henley has a single 7-inning game to close out the league season against Phoenix on Monday. Jacoby Takini finally ready to settle in as we've got second base back in. There's 2 on and nobody out for Henley. That pitch will find the zone. The count is 0-1. We've got Mark Carpenter in at third and Connor Shively in at second. Pitch to Takini. That one misses, bounced in the dirt. The count 1-1. Again, nobody out in the inning. Henley and Mazama softball going at it right now as well. Down the way at the softball complex. Try to get you a score update there. It looks like Mazama is leading the Henley Hornets 7-3 in that game. And as I take a look, 7-3 the score, and they are in the bottom of the third inning. The 1-2 on the way to Tacchini, puts a jolt into that one, left center field. Coming in is the center fielder, and that one will drop in front of Lobdell. And a run will score. Carpenter in, Henley leads 10-1. Thought that one had a little bit more carry than it did, sort of flattened out there in center, but scoring on the error was Carpenter. Advancing to third was Shively, and now Porter Frost aboard at first after coming in to run for Tacchini. By my count, third error of the day for the Vikings will bring up Max Price. Price reached on an error and a run scored on that play back in the first. He also struck out in the second. Here he takes strike one. Mason Snell still out there. All things considered, has thrown well against this Henley order. The 0-1 is in the dirt. The count is 1-1. It's been some struggle defensively for the Vikings as the errors have allowed runners to stay on and advance for Henley. Snell is producing fly balls and ground balls, but the defense unable to make the out. This time the pitch misses wide. Porter Frost on the move. The throw down to short is cut off by Capitan, but in safely at second is Porter Frost. So now two in scoring position rather, in a 2-1 count to the Henley cleanup hitter. It's Max Price. Pitcher looking to help out his own cause a little bit here. The 2-1. That one is in the dirt, 3-1. Snell unhappy with the current baseball. He'll get it swapped out ahead of the 3-1 pitch. Three or one, ready to go. A curveball. Price pops it up. Shallow right field. Right fielder comes in, calls everybody off. Nickerson with the catch. Tagging from third and scoring is Connor Shively, and Henley leads 11-1. Porter Frost stayed put at second. And a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Max Price. He is the first out in the third inning. Here's Bo Pyle. He's 2 for 2 today with 3 RBI, doubled in 2 runs in the first and added another with a single in the second. Here's the pitch. Pyle takes that one. It gets by Deshaun Carter. Advancing to third is Porter Frost. Now just 90 feet away from scoring with 1 out in the inning. Pyle ready to see the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes from Snell. A curveball taken for a strike. A nice find on the outer third. The count is 1-1. After Pyle in the Henley order, it's Derek Cox. The 1-1 on its way to Bo. Line drive down the left field line, fair. That's going to score Porter Frost. Digging for 2 is Bo Pyle. The throw in is There, Pyle is out trying to stretch a single into a double. And that is the second out in the third inning, but a run does score for Henley. They now lead 12-1. Derek Cox batting now for Henley. A couple of sacrifice flies, earning him a couple of RBIs here today. Did second base come up again? Bo slid into second and took it up, so got to dig it out again. It looks like a fine time for us to remind you that today's broadcast on mybasin.com is brought to you by Gino's Cafe on East Main Street. Open every morning at 6:30, serving their famous breakfast burritos. Those are served all day long, along with other menu items like burgers, monthly specials, and Italian favorites. You can order online at iloveginos.com or on DoorDash. Gino's was one of the presenting sponsor of the 2025 Basin All-Star Game that we held right here at Mazama High School. What a fun night that was back on March 20th. Got all the community out from all over Klamath County to come participate in our All-Star Game. And having it here at Valhalla Court was fantastic. We packed the house, and a big shout-out to the Mazama Athletic Director, Ian O'Brien. See him walking across your screen there. He was instrumental in making sure we had things up and running during that event back a couple months ago. It looks like we're ready for baseball. First pitch to Derek Cox is called a strike, a curveball on the outer third. Snell's been placing that curveball pretty well today on the outside when he's able to find it. It's when he leaves it over the middle that he's run into some trouble. But if you can find the outside, it's done well for him. Here's a curveball that's popped up in the infield. Certainly playable. Third baseman Lee calls everybody off and will make the catch, and that will end the inning. But the Hornets score 3, and they lead 12-1 as we go to the bottom half of the third on mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
The information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Nearly ready to start the bottom of the third inning between the Vikings and the Hornets. The top of the order for the Vikings due up in the bottom of the third. It's Max Rogers, Devin Lobdell, and Deshaun Carter as they trail Henley 12-1 in this Skyline Conference matchup. Max Price throwing well on the mound for Henley so far. Got into a little bit of trouble with some free passes last inning. A walk, a hit batsman, and led to a run for Mazama in the second. Second time through the order, Max Rogers will take a pitch high. The count is 1-0. Rogers flew out to right in the first inning. The 1-0 on the way. Pop up in the infield towards the first base side. Corbin Hamilton underneath it. Catch is made for the out. In steps Devin Lobdell for the Vikings. 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the first inning. Price shakes off the first option from Tacchini. Now Agreeable. First pitch swinging for Lobdell. Down the third base line. Carpenter can't come up with it. And an error committed at third will allow Lobdell to reach first. Deshaun Carter ready to bat now for the Vikings. Carter singled in the first, but was left stranded in that inning. The only Viking to record a hit so far. Got a piece of this one, but sends it foul back towards the somewhat newly turfed football field. Couple years old now, but going back to why this baseball field is so nice, part of the reason why is because they turfed the football field. The 0-1 to Carter, that's popped up again behind first. You might be asking, well, how do those things correlate? Well, that's because the football team now doesn't have to practice in the outfield of the baseball complex. They can practice year-round on the football field because it's turf, and it's allowed the revitalization of this baseball field to come to fruition. 0-2 to Carter. That pitch in the dirt, 1-2. One, two, misses high. The count 2-2. Pitch on the way from Price. That one also low. So down from 0-2 to working a full count. Deshaun Carter has shown a fair amount of patience up there, laying off some pitches in the dirt. And now I have to see where Max Price goes, and the count is full. Jaden Justice is on deck for the Vikings. 3-2 pitch. Carter swings and misses, down on strikes for the second out in the third inning. Timeout is called. Jacoby Tacchini goes out and has a discussion with Max Price. Just the two of them out there for our at-bat for Jaden Justice. He's 0 for 1 today, and now it looks like Coach Connor is coming on out to have a discussion too, the pitching coach for the Hornets. Time for us to remind you that today's broadcast partially brought to you by Howard's Meat Center, where tradition meets innovation with every cut and every bite of Smokin' H barbecue. As you step through the doors, you're not just entering a meat center, you're stepping back in time where quality of the meat and depth of customer service was everything. Check them out on South 6th Street next to Les Schwab Tires. And it looks like Henley is going to be making a change on the mound, which means we will step aside. When we come back, we'll get you all the changes in just a minute. This is Henley Baseball on MyBasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Jaden Justice ready to hit against the new Henley pitcher. And that would be, looks like Hayden Poor out there. Want to make sure that that's exactly who it is. The first pitch misses upstairs. Count is 1-0. So it is Hayden Poor out there. We can take a look at the stats for him this season. This is his fourth game pitched this year. 3 1/3 innings previous, an 0-1 record, and an ERA of 6.3. Here's a towering fly ball, shallow right field. Over is the second baseman, Bo Pyle, unable to make the catch. Lobdell advances to third, charge the error to Pyle at second. Second Henley error. Runners at the corners, 2 outs for Kellen Lee. Vikings down against Henley 12-1, bottom of the third inning. Poor. Checks the runner at first and delivers. Curveball swung on and missed, 0-1. It's Lee, and then Spivey is on deck if the inning continues for Mazama. Here's the pitch. Curveball hit in the air, right field, sort of the same location. This time Sims calls everybody off to make the catch, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, but 2 left for the Vikings in the third inning. We'll go to the fourth. Henley leads Mazama 12-1. Back after this on MyBasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever. Wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face. I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Getting ready for the top of the fourth inning. Due up this half for Henley will be Corbin Hamilton, Porter Frost, and Ryan Douglas. The Hornets lead Mazama in the top of the fourth inning, 12-1. Got some changes in for Henley as Coach Sean Teeters has a conversation with our home plate umpire today. As far as I know, the only switch is for Porter Frost to come in and hit for Carson Sims, and Frost is on deck. But we'll see if there's any other changes coming up after that. We've got time on the field. Let's see. I think just adjusting the face mask, perhaps. Looks like we are ready to go. First pitch from Snell is going to miss in against Ian Meyer, and that's actually the second change. So we're going to see Ian Meyer bat for Corbin Hamilton. Love to see a bat taken by Ian Meyer. There's a ball hit to left field and a single for Ian Meyer here in the third inning. This will bring up Porter Frost. And it looks like we'll have another switch coming up for Henley after this, as Shiv Patel looks like he's ready to hit in the on-deck circle after Frost. First pitch, a ball to Porter Frost. Count is 1-0. Haven't seen too many at-bats taken by the sophomore Porter Frost this season. Typically has been used as a courtesy runner, but nice to see him get an at-bat here as he ducks out of the way in the 1-0 pitch. The count now 2-0. Runner on first is Ian Meyer after the single. Here's the pitch. That one misses low. Snell tried to find the breaking pitch away, but it dipped below the zone. The count now 3-0. Swung on and missed on the 3-0 pitch. The count 3-1. Update from Oregon Tech. The Lady Owls survive once more with a win over Midland 2-0. Oregon Tech will advance one more day to play Midland tomorrow, I believe at 1 o'clock. I'll have to double check on that, but the season continues after battling through 2 elimination games for the Lady Owls today. Right now the count 3-2 to Porter Frost. He takes a look at ball 4. And nobody out, 2 on for Shivam Patel. Patel awaits the first pitch from Snell. That one came in and got him. And the bases are loaded. Back to the top of the order for Mark Carpenter. See if Coach Edwards winds up making a change here as he emerges from the Mazama dugout. As Meyer moves to third, Frost to second, and Shivam is at first. Today's game on MyBasin.com brought to you in part by Abby's Legendary Pizza. If you're looking for a great place to eat, head to one of Abby's Legendary Pizza locations for some of the best pizza in the Basin at 1919 Austin Street or 2226 Shalleck Street near OIT. Abby's Legendary Pizza is a proud supporter of high school sports. Looks like we're getting a pitching change for Mazama, which means we'll take a break in the top of the 4th inning. Bases will be loaded when we return, and we'll get you all the changes in just a moment here on MyBasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
So some changes here for Mazama, as it looks like Max Rogers in to pitch for the Vikings, coming in from second base. Jaden Justice is now playing second base for Mazama, as Rogers will inherit a less than ideal situation, bases loaded and nobody out. And one of the best hitters, if not the best hitter in the state of Oregon, Mark Carpenter, due up here. From the windup with the bases loaded, first we're seeing of Max Rogers. That pitch misses outside, the count 1-0. After Carpenter, it's Connor Shively, then Jacoby Tacchini for Henley. Pitch on the way to Carpenter. Takes a look at strike one on the outside. The count even. The 1-1. Carpenter grounds it back up the middle. Justice is going to touch second base for one. The throw on to first will not be in time. So Meyer comes in to score on the fielder's choice from Carpenter. Porter Frost advances to third. And there is one away, now in a 13-1 ball game. So here's Connor Shively, who is 2 for 2 today with 3 runs scored. He walked in the first, singled in the second and third, and scored all 3 times. First pitch swinging here, fly ball left field. Spivey coming in, and that one will drop in front of him. And Carpenter advances to second. And again, sort of inexplicable there, but Spivey letting that one drop in front of him. Shively aboard with an RBI single now for Jacoby Tacchini as Porter Frost comes in to score, making it 13-1. Pardon me, 14-1 Henley. First pitch to Tacchini, rocket to left field. That one's over the head of Spivey and will roll to the wall. Carpenter will jog home. They're waving Shively in to score from first, and a stand-up 2 RBI double for Jacoby Tacchini. Henley leads 16-1. Max Price batting now for the Hornets. Pitch misses upstairs, the count 1-0. Price is 0 for 2 today, reached on an error in the first and struck out in the second. But he had a sacrifice fly with an RBI in the third inning. Here ahead in the count, 1-0. That pitch is going to miss high, 2-0. Henley has added 4 more runs here in the fourth inning, up 16-1. Pitch on the way is called a strike. Finds the outer third. The count 2-1 to Max Price. Bo Pyle waits on deck. Fouled back, 2-2. Checking in on Henley and Mazama softball. That game is tied at 8. Two misses upstairs. The count is 3-2. Tacchini standing at second. One of the few times he's running for himself out there. Decent lead. The 3-2 home. Curveball fouled back. Count is full. Price swings and chases at a pitch above his head for strike 3. That'll be the second out in the fourth inning. And in steps Bo Pyle. Pyle 3 for 3 today. First pitch swinging. Fly ball, left center field. That'll get down, and it'll be extra bases. Jacoby Tacchini will get in and score from second. Pyle jogs into second. They'll go ahead and trade places out there. And another RBI double for Bo Pyle. He's got 4 runs batted in today, and he is 4 for 4. In steps Derek Cox, the 9th batter to hit this inning for Henley, as Ian Meyer, who got everything started with a leadoff single, is now on deck. The pitch is going to find the zone on the outside, the count 0-1. The most runs Henley has scored all season is 17. This is now the 3rd time that they've scored 17 runs in a game. The first was last time they played the Vikings, a 17-2 win. They also scored 17 runs in a win against Phoenix back on April 16th. Two outs, top of the 4th, and a runner in scoring position is Bo Pyle. The count is 0-2. To Derek Cox. He'll take a look at ball 1 as it misses wide, 1-2. Set is Rogers. And the 1-2 is going to miss, 2-2. Cox stays alive, fouls that one off. Count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. Two again from Rogers. Here it is. Curveball misses upstairs, and now the count is full. Pitch from Rogers, misses below the knees, looked at for ball 4. Cox is aboard. 2 on now for for Corbin Hamilton. Looks like Hamilton has re-entered the game after Meyer had the previous at-bat. Meyer will, at least for now, finish 1 for 1 with a run scored. Corbin Hamilton, couple of RBIs today. He's 1 for 2. Pitch to Hamilton, called a strike, 0-1. Line drive towards second, a leaping catch for Jaden Justice at second. That's a nice play to end the 4th inning. Henley will score 5 in the inning, and they do it using 5 base hits as we end the 4th inning with a 17-1 score. Bottom of the 4th is next on mybasin.com.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers. which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Clown Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Ready to get rolling in the bottom of the fourth inning. Due up this half for Mazama is Mason Spivey, Jacoby Nickerson, and William Hamilton. Are we getting a new different hitter? Looks like Logan Blakely getting in that bat here in the fourth inning. The first pitch to Blakely is looked at for a strike, the count 0-1. The 0-2 misses outside. The count now 1-2 to Logan Blakely. The senior awaits the pitch from Hayden Poor. Swung on and missed. Strike three, first out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Now in steps Jacoby Nickerson. Nickerson was hit by a pitch his first time around. Score update, checking in on Henley and Mazama softball. The Hornets have climbed out in front to take a 12-8 lead. Nickerson ground ball to first, Hamilton up with it, and that will be the out in the fourth inning. Pitch misses high to William Hamilton. The count is 1-0. Hamilton 0 for 1 today. He drove in a run, though, when he reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning. Now the count to him is 2-0 with Mason Snell waiting on deck. Swung on and missed. Count is 2-1 to William Hamilton. He is one of 5 seniors for the Vikings, and looks like we've seen, or one of 5 freshmen for the Vikings, pardon me, is we've seen all of them today. It's a very young team. The 3-1 is chased after. The count is 3-2. Hamilton, Ladner, Snell, Frost, and Lee proved to be the future of the Vikings. And again, like I said at the top of the broadcast, a lot of hope for the future of these Vikings as the 3-2 misses low, and a walk delivered to William Hamilton will bring up Mason Snell. And just as I say, here's Snell, one of those other freshmen I was just talking about. Delivery from Poor will miss high. The count is 1-0. That one almost got him. Snell had to twist out of the way, and this is going to prompt Takini to come on out and have a conversation with his pitcher. Just trying to calm him down a bit as he walked the previous batter with 2 outs. Trying not to do it again here. Today's broadcast on MyBasin.com brought to you by Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Picking the right path can make the journey easier, the distance shorter, and can assure that you end up at the right place. Whether you're dreaming of owning a home or you just want a great checking account, Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union can help you reach your goals. 2-0 coming up. The pitch looked at for a strike. Nice find on the outer third for Hayden Poor. Popped up foul. Count now 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three in the dirt. Tag applied to Mason Snell, and that will be the inning. No runs, no hits, one runner left for Mazama as we go to the fifth. They trail Henley 17-1. Back after this on mybasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Pal's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Top of the fifth inning, Henley leads Mazama 17-1. Due up this half inning for Henley is going to be Porter Frost. Looks like Carson Sims is back hitting for the Hornets, so it'll be Sims. Looks like Douglas, and then back to the top for Carpenter. It's 8-9-1 in the Henley order in the fifth inning against Max Rogers. The first pitch is looked at for a ball, down and away, 1-0. Taking a look at Sims so far today, 1 for 1. He doubled in the first inning, would later walk. The 1-0. Swung on and missed on that pitch. The count even, a ball and a strike. Pitch from Rogers misses in the dirt. The count is now 2-1. Sims chases an upstairs changeup, and the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Henley sophomore right fielder. The 2-2. Sims looks at that one, missed below the knees. The count now full. That one misses. Sims aboard on a walk for the second time today. And this will bring up Ryan Douglas. Douglas singled in a run in the first inning, was called out on interference in the second inning, a much contested call that led to the ejection of one of Henley's coaches. But here Douglas hits one in the air, left center field. That one is carrying. It's going to be over the head of the center fielder, lobbed and rolled to the wall. They're going to keep Sims at third. Rolling into second with a double is Ryan Douglas. 2 in scoring position now for Mark Carpenter. Carpenter has reached base 3 times today. He's scored all 3 times, and he's done it in different ways all 3 times. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning. He singled in the third and knocked in a run on a fielder's choice in the fourth. 2 out there waiting for him with nobody out in the fifth. Pitch on the way to Carpenter. A curveball hit high, deep to left field, but well foul. Count is 0-1, a very loud strike one off the bat of Carpenter. After Carpenter in the Henley order, it's Connor Shively. Pitch on the way. That one finds the zone off the outer third. The count is now 0-2 to Carpenter. Rogers from the windup with the runner on third. Here's the 0-2. That one will ring Carpenter up. Carpenter dissatisfied with that call. Hard to really disagree with him. Looked about an inch or two off the plate. But that is strike three called against Carpenter, down on strikes in the fifth. All Mark could do is laugh on his way back to the dugout for that one, as it'll bring up Connor Shively, the left-handed bat for Henley. He is 3 for 3 with 4 runs scored today. Shively pops one up in foul territory behind third. It'll fall, and the count is 0-1. Connor reached on a walk in the first and would score. Doubled in each the second, third, and fourth innings. Added an RBI in the fourth, and again came around to score all 3 of those times. He's having himself quite the day. To be fair, the Hornets as a whole are having quite the day, up by 16 against Mazama. Rogers trying to find the 0-1 against Shively. 2 men in scoring position. The pitch, Shively hits it the other way. That's going to get down in left field. Sims will come in to score. Douglas digging, trying to score from second. He will get in and score as well. A 2 RBI single for Connor Shively makes it 19-1 Henley. And just like that, the Hornets have scored the most runs in a single game this season. Jacoby Tacchini bats now with a runner aboard at first and 1 out. Rogers checks the runner at first. It's Shively. He's a threat to steal typically, although with the Hornets up 17, I doubt they'll send him on any type of steals or anything like that. But he has, I believe, 18 stolen bases, hasn't been caught yet this season. The 1-0 to Tacchini misses upstairs. The count now 2-0. Tacchini has reached base 3 times today, although only 1 hit. A 2 RBI double came in the 4th inning. Otherwise, he's been hit by a pitch twice and reached on an error. 2-0 is going to miss in. The count 3-0. Max Price on deck. .30 in there, a looping breaking ball. 3-1. Rogers set again, this time with the 3-1. Popped up in the infield, should be playable. Lee over to make the catch for the second out. Max Price due up now for the Hornets. Price without a hit today, but he's done just about everything else. Reached on an error, knocked in a run on that time. He's struck out. He hit a sacrifice fly with an RBI in the 3rd and struck out again in the 4th. Here he rips one down the left field line. That's fair. Shively advancing to second on the 2-out base knock for Max Price, and there you go. On now with his first single of the day. Conference on the mound. Mike Edwards has emerged from the dugout. And we are going to make a change. Henley up 19-1, 2 outs, top of the 5th inning, and a new Mazama pitcher is coming in. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll introduce you to him. Back in just a minute on mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media.
The information of 24-hour news.
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
New pitcher in for Mazama is Devin Lobdell. Taking a look at Devin this season. He's only pitched 1/3 of an inning previous to this. And he comes in with 2 outs and 2 on in the top of the 5th inning. Other defensive changes, it looks like Mason Snell has moved over to short. Let's see. We've got Max Rogers has moved to center. Trying to make out who's at second base. I believe it's still Jaden Justice out there at second. So just a swap with Rogers and Lobdell swapping places, it looks like. Lobdell coming in from center. And the first task is Bo Pyle coming out of the bullpen for Devin Lobdell. Pitch is going to miss low. The count is 1-0. After Pyle, it's Derek Cox for the Hornets. The 1-0. That one finds the inner third of the plate. Nice find there by Lobdell on the fastball in. Count even at 1 to Bo Pyle. 1-1 there, misses, 2-1. Two-one in there for a strike. Another nice find on the inside against Bo Pyle. Lobdell gets the sign from Carter. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Pyle, did he go? Yes, he did. Tag applied. That'll be the inning. Going to the bottom of the 5th. Henley a chance to close things out, up 18 runs. Back after this on mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Top of the Mazama order due up in the bottom half of the fifth. Max Rogers, Devin Lobdell, and Deshaun Carter. As Henley leads Mazama 19-1. Ground ball to third. Carpenter is up with it. Has to make a strong throw to first that Hamilton can't pick out of the dirt. And Rogers will reach there on the error. And this will bring up Devin Lobdell. Started the game in center field, has taken over the pitching duties for Mazama. Although unless the Vikings can score 9 runs here, the game will be over. And a strike taken on the outside, 0-1. Lobdell today 0 for 2, struck out and reached on an error. Curveball hit to the left center field gap. Over is the center fielder, Douglas. That ball is over his head. They are waving Rogers around to score, and Henley won't do anything to stop him. A RBI double for Devin Lobdell, and Mazama notches a run here in the fifth, down 19-2. Now Deshaun Carter bats. Still with nobody out in the inning and a runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Curveball that Carter hits high to left center field. That is going to be caught in left field. Oh boy, Chase Barrett sells out for the catch. What a nice job. That's Douglas out there. Saw Max Price, I guess, is in center. That's Ryan Douglas, who laid out and made a great catch in left for the first out in the fifth inning. Apologize there for not recognizing it first. Douglas laying out for the catch. Here's a pop-up in the infield, right back to the mound. Hayden Poore will scoop back and put that one away. Justice goes down as the second casualty in the fifth inning. And here is freshman Kellen Lee for the Mazama Vikings, the last hope in the bottom of the fifth inning. Lee is 0 for 1 today. First pitch, he'll take a strike, 0-1. Lee walked and scored in the second, but flew out to right field in the third. Bats here with a runner in scoring position in the fifth inning. Checks his swing on the curveball that misses in. Did he go? Yes, he did. Count is 0-2. And Lee probably feels a little bit robbed after that check down to first base. Here's the 0-2. Curveball, slow roller to third. Carpenter charges. Throw on to first. Hamilton has to pick it out, but a nice play. And that is the ball game. Henley coming to Mazama High School and defeating the Vikings 19-2. We'll be back to recap the action next on mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever. Wondering if you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Final score from Mazama High School today. The Henley Hornets come to town to defeat the Vikings 19-2. For Henley today, 19 runs on 16 hits. They commit 4 errors and they leave 7 runners on base. For Mazama, 2 runs on 2 hits. The Vikings committed 3 errors and left 5 runners on base. The winning pitcher today for Henley is Max Price, working 2 2/3 innings, giving up 1 hit, 1 run. It was unearned, walked 1, and struck out 2. The losing pitcher today is Jonathan Ladner. Gave up the first 5 runs of the ball game. Only 1 hit, but 3 of those runs unearned. Ladner hung with the loss here. I want to highlight our Pacific Power play of the day. I'm sort of torn here because a fantastic play in the final moments of the game was made, a catch in left by Ryan Douglas. But I think overall the performance today for Connor Shively just as a whole, I think I'm going to have to name that as a play of the day. He scored 4 runs today, was 4 for 4 with 3 RBI. Just a really great day for Connor Shively. He was helped out a 4 for 5 day from Bo Pyle. He drove in 5 RBI. 1 for 3 day for Jacoby Takini with 2 RBI. Corbin Hamilton was 1 for 3 with a couple of runs batted in as well. For Mazama, the lone RBI of the day went to Devin Lobdell. He finished 1 for 3. The other base hit went to Deshaun Carter. He also finished 1 for 3. With this win, Henley improves on the season. Now winners of 4 straight to 18-3, 13-0 in league play, and the Hornets are your Skyline Conference champions for the 3rd year in a row. For the Mazama Vikings, they fall in this one to 6-16 on the season. They are now 2-12 in Skyline Conference play. These 2 teams will meet up again on Friday in a doubleheader, which begins at 3 o'clock. And we'll be with you with the call right here on mybasin.com. Once again, the final score for you, Henley defeats Mazama 19-2. My name is Josh Eldridge saying so long from Mazama High School.